what's up? My name is Patricia, also known as God's Design, here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. Alright, so this is going to be another installment into my reflection series, and if you are unfamiliar, I'll go ahead and leave a playlist down below. But basically, in this series, we talk about the mind, the body, and the matters of the soul. So last time we talked about rejection, and I got a lot of positive feedback from you guys via Twitter, via Instagram, and here on YouTube. So I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate you guys participating and responding in the comment section. However, today I've come in to talk to you guys about fear. So let's talk about it. Fear, in my opinion, is one of those feelings that really draws a lot of energy and really helps to dictate almost single-handedly how you live your life. Fear is one of those things that you can choose to acknowledge and release it, or you can choose to have it and live life without trying to stimulate it. And what I mean by that is you have it and hide from it at the same time. You create this safety, this little world that you control, where every day is the same, that it's predictable, and so that you can guarantee that you can go through life without having to simulate this fear. I'm not really talking about the fear of spiders, or I'm not talking about the fear of heights, or I'm not talking about the fear of, I don't know, I don't like things that hop, personally, like grasshoppers, frogs, anything that hops. For whatever reason, I just don't like things that hop. But we're not talking about those things. We're not talking about critters and bugs and stuff. We're talking about the life things. So what ends up happening is fear determines how you live your life. Helps you create this environment in which you feel okay, which you feel safe. And you would think that, hey, I feel safe. That's good, right? No, it can be very damaging. Let me tell you why. Because now everything in here feels safe. Everything out there feels frightening. On my vlog channel, I get this comment a whole lot. You know, Patricia, how is it that you embrace change so well? Why is it that you embrace change? Like, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared to do this? Aren't you scared to just leave your life and just get up and go to a new place? Aren't you scared? Is that not frightening? It's funny that we're talking about fears, because then I got this big old bee is in my window, and I can't tell if it's on the outside or if it's on the inside, because if it is, that's gonna be a problem. I don't like bees. So what ends up happening is everything in your little cocoon, all that you've created in your space is safe, and everything outside of it is not safe. So then life becomes a threat. Everything outside of your safety zone becomes a threat. And like I was saying, you know, people ask me how I'm able to do this. And I want to say it's a daily thing, because it's natural to experience fear, especially fear of the unknown, fear of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. However, you have to constantly break down those barriers, because it really hinder you from moving on and experiencing what you ought to experience in this life. When you live in fear, you live in this me against the world mentality. I am the victim, I am the protagonist, and everybody else is the antagonist. I am right, everyone else is wrong. And because you resist change and you resist any alteration in this environment, in this world, it then becomes a struggle. Life becomes a struggle, you against it, to attempt to arrange people and life and school and work and home the way you want it to be. That takes a whole lot of energy, one. And two, as soon as anything happens, and things will happen in life to alter, to disturb your safety net that you created for yourself. And then it causes mayhem inside of you, because your fear is stimulated. It creates this chaos and mayhem inside of you, and now you're trying to figure out how to get back, how to rearrange, how to prevent this thing from happening, this thing that you fear. One of my biggest fears is failure. One of my biggest fears is that I will be unhappy. I will live life unhappy. One of my other biggest fears is that I won't accomplish what I was put on this earth to accomplish. I think there's power in calling it out. I read a book, I can't remember what book it was, that called for the readers to literally list what our major fears were. What did we fear in life? And in staring at it, I looked at my life and how I live it, and I realized that these fears had been dictating how I was living my life. Well then, Patricia, what is the alternative? The alternative is not to fight fear, not to waste energy on fear, not to allow it to dictate how you live, but rather acknowledge it and release it. Life is continuously changing. Life is not in your control. Things happen every single day, from you stubbing your toe, from you locking your keys inside of your car, from you getting pulled over, from you getting laid off of your job, from someone passing away that you love dearly, for whatever it is, getting a divorce, whether your kids acting out. Things happen in life, and life continuously changes. There is absolutely no way that you can control what happens, because unfortunately, rather fortunately, life is not in our hands. It's in God's hands. It's in God's hands. Let's just let him do what he does best. And because life is continuously changing, and because we really cannot control it, but here's the bad thing in trying to, we don't live it. We don't experience it. We miss out because of fear. I was talking to someone the other day. You know how simple conversations really get you to thinking, and it just gets you to really think deep, or maybe it's just me. I was talking to someone, and she has a fear of water, and I could identify with that because I had a really big fear of water as a kid. For whatever reason, I just did pools. I could kind of deal with, but anything where I had to, you know, swim in order to preserve my life, you know, so I wouldn't drown, you know, that was intimidating to me. That was scary. I feared that. I feared drowning. No, you wouldn't catch me by nobody's ocean. As I got older, I got over that. And for those of you guys who are on my vlog channel, you guys know one of my favorite ways to vacation is cruising. And so I was talking to someone, and she had the same fear and has had it as a kid of water, and had a fear of drowning. Therefore, she's never been on a cruise, and she told me she will never go on a cruise because of this fear. And so I sat there and I tried to relate to her and say, hey, I understand this fear. I used to have this fear as well, but you need to understand how awesome it is, how you can go to 4 or 5 different places all in one week, food all the time, buffets, the sun, the beaches. You just want to do this thing. And I just sat there trying to explain to her how wonderful this cruising was, and how much she was missing out on it. But at the end of the conversation, I didn't change her mind. She still feared it. And it saddened me a little bit, because here am I talking to this person who will never experience this wonderful thing because of a fear. And so it's like, oh, Patricia, that's just a fear. People will live without going on a cruise, and I totally understand that. However, what if this fear is deterring you from your purpose? What if this fear is hindering you from exactly what it is that you were set out to do? You are fearful. You fear failing, so you don't even want to try. Do not let fear rule. Acknowledge it. Call it out. Part of growing spiritually is acknowledging, and as I said earlier, calling out what you fear. So the first step in that is call it out. Write it down. You guys know I'm really I'm really big on writing things down. Write it down. Write down what it is that you're afraid of. Write down what you are afraid of and stare at it in the face. Sometimes you really just got to acknowledge that thing and call it out, and then give it permission to go away. Give yourself permission to release it. That doesn't mean you won't experience it again, because we are human. These are normal feelings we are going to experience. However, if you seek to face it and then let it go, there's power in that. It no longer rules you. It no longer dictates how you live your life, but rather it's just a step in the process. The next time you get an email from your boss, let me give you an example, and I'll give you some application here. So you get an email from your boss, and he says, hey, I want you to be the one to present the pitch to our potential clients at the next meeting. I feel like you are the woman, or you are the man for the job, and I think you'll do really well in helping to persuade them to pick up this project. Your initial reaction may be, I don't like talking in front of people. I don't like, small or large, I don't like to talk in front of a crowd. Acknowledge it, write it down, then call your boss and tell him, hey, I'll do it. Make sure you call him right away. Don't let it linger. Address it immediately. Immediately. The longer you wait, the greater the fear. The more you practice this, the easier it will become. I promise. So much so that the alternative just doesn't make sense anymore. It will no longer make sense to allow, you know, fear to rule your life. It will no longer make sense living your life in this box, in this cocoon. It will no longer make sense to hide from something, so much so that you don't experience life as you should. The alternative will no longer make sense. Don't let fear rule. Take that first step. If it is that, hey, you've always wanted to start a business, you want to start your own business right now. Pause this video if you have to. Don't click out, just pause it. And look up how to start a business. Do it right now. If it's that you want to go back to school and you feel like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I got kids, I got a job, I got a hubby, they rely on me, I don't have the time. Look it up right now. Nursing programs in Richmond, Virginia. Cosmetology schools in Dallas, Texas. Do it right now. We talked a little while ago that our biggest obstacle is us. It is ourselves. And part of that is fear. We're so scared that we don't. We're so scared that we don't try. We're so scared that we try to stop ourselves from even thinking about it. We put it deep back in the recesses of our mind so we don't call it forward, so we don't have to face the fact every day that we're not doing what we want to do because of this one thing called fear. Do not let it rule your life. Acknowledge it. Write it down. Release it. Give it permission to go and immediately move forward. Literally, I live my life so differently now, and I really want to pass on these gifts that I'm learning as I'm learning it, guys. And there's nothing wrong with fear. It is a normal thing. Sometimes fear can be humbling, it can help to keep us humble, but it can't be so great in our lives that it hinders us. So I'm going to say it one last time. Acknowledge it, write it down, release it, and then immediately move. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are well and in good spirits whenever it is that this video meets you. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and on my vlog channel. You guys are going to want to follow me there. I share like little inspirational tidbits on my Facebook page, also on my Instagram, and Twitter is one of the quickest ways to get in contact with me. All the links will be down in the description bar below as usual. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time in another video. And as always, God bless.